Hi, Dean.
What's up?
Maddie and Dean switched places.
Yeah.
So Dean's
my apartment now.
exactly.
I live in Sea Point.
Maddie's at school, and Dean. Actually, no. Did you just come over here to hang?
Well, I have to do stuff for my projects as well, but I have my visa appointment this morning.
Oh yeah,
so
because he had to come to Cape Town. So he was like, "Sick, I'll just come see
I'll
you."
just chill here for
Yeah.
the day.
So I think we're about to record a podcast. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then Maddie gets back after that, and then we'll go mission.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great. I'm gonna record some of this podcast. Coffee first. Alrighty. Let's do this podcast, bro. Ready. Let's do it. Oh, we fist bumped the coffee. Spill it. No deal. Awkward.
Did you actually spill it?
No.
Okay.
I would've. Dean's getting his shot. Dude,
Don't
your
need
gear's...
gear.
Don't need gear.
Who needs a tripod?
Your gear setup, man.
Just carry boxes around you.
I think that's the next step. Yeah, I think Casey's gonna start. He's gonna build a box rig. That he's gonna hold out in front of him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's the
Box.
game changer.
And we got some sandals to hold the lens. Those sandals are from Jerusalem, so this is like an international gear setup. Look at this! Look at us go!
Gear setup.
The Cape Town boxes, the international sandals from Jerusalem.
Just sit there quickly.
Okay, so
Recording. And yeah, so don't worry about looking at the cameras when we actually like you can look at the cameras for the intro and stuff, but other than that. Okay.
subscribe.
We are going. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another podcast. It is time for another Make It Happen podcast. Are you ready for this, Jackson?
I'm so ready.
Welcome back to another podcast. Again, this is only like my second proper episode after the intro, and then my first one, which was you don't really need money to travel the world. But today we have Jackson Thomas as our guest once again. So you were on my last episode as well, which is how to travel the world with no money. And obviously Mitchell was still with us. He's
still
rest
with
in
us.
peace. I'm kidding.
R.I.P.
Mitchell is currently in Greece right now. But yeah, some things have happened since the last time we did the podcast, which is probably about 2-3 weeks ago.
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, the first thing I just wanted to ask you is the whole situation that's happened over the past few weeks.
Yeah, so
From when it was like going all good, you just arrived in Cape Town, all the missions were good.
everything was solid, and then everything went south. So basically, this whole trip, right? I'd planned it out money-wise, where I had these jobs that were gonna be lined up in each country, so I'd be having money throughout the whole trip, and it'd be like solid, it'd be great. One of the biggest jobs was I was posting for a social media agency via the past month, and I was gonna be making $1,200 from that whole gig. Like that was gonna be the deal. I was gonna make it here. I'd be like hundreds, because that would pay for basically.
So money would be fine, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine. I'd get back to America. I'd be solid.
Yeah.
And then while I was here, money just fell through. It wasn't really anybody's fault. It was as a startup, and that kind of happens pretty consistently in startups where things just fall through. So they couldn't pay me prior to me working for them, and then when I got here, they couldn't pay me after as well. So they're gonna pay me for 1 month of working, which is only $300, which goes from a really solid like I'll make it home to a really solid like I'm trapped in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the situation.
And you were planning on leaving on the 9th, right?
I was planning on leaving the 9th, which was yesterday.
Yeah, it's currently the 10th of May. So yeah, it's a situation.
It's a situation, man.
I think it's okay. And that leads us on to the actual topic of this video and podcast. If you guys listening, if you don't know, there's a YouTube channel for this podcast as well. So go check that out. It is linked in my friends list of my main channel, which is @VisualRev. And then, why'd the camera just go off?
I don't know.
Weird. Hopefully this one's still recording.
Yeah.
Anyway, And then if you guys are watching on the YouTube channel, there's a podcast as well. If you're on your way to school or work or whatever, check it out. Anyway, leading on to the topic of this podcast session, which is the struggle of making your dreams come true. So as I said in the last episode, we spoke about the fact that you don't need money to travel the world, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be a fabulous lifestyle.
No.
So I just wanted to speak a bit about the struggle that you've gone through.
Yeah.
And like how it's not as easy as people
would think
it would be.
I think a lot of times when you hear travel, when you hear the idea of travel, you have to think about it in the sense of how you've traveled. So for most people, how they travel is very much just like, oh, they go to the nice resort, they go to the nice, they go out to eat every night. They're gone for 2 weeks because that's all they have time off. So they've saved up a bunch of money and they have a bunch of money to go do all these epic things. So anytime anybody thinks of travel, it's you're doing all these epic things and you got a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you have to break it down when you're doing long-term travel and bigger travel. It's where like, okay, so you're not going out to eat every night. You're actually going to the local grocery store, buying things in bulk. So you're saving a ton of money. So it's not as nearly as glamorous as what most people think about.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to define how you're traveling when you talk about traveling.
Yeah.
And then, for us as creatives, and just in general, like when you're traveling, things come up, things happen. It's crazy. You're in a different country. You don't know the culture. You don't know the way things work. The money's different. The conversations are different about money. It's just it's a completely different dynamic to what you're used to. And I think that people forget that context when you're like, oh, I'm going to travel. Like, oh, wow, you're so lucky. And it's like, well, sure.
Yeah.
But like, now I'm trapped in Cape Town.
Yeah, I think it's nice to show exactly what you're doing. So again, for those of you that don't know, Jackson has his own YouTube channel as well, so go check that out. He is daily vlogging the struggles as well as the highs of his travels. So I think that's, again, one of the